SPB TV and Media Corporation China Media Group have signed an agreement on providing platform for broadcasting. St. Petersburg State University and Tsinghua University have signed an agreement on cooperation on a joint project at the Tsinghua University.
Генеральный директор государственной корпорации по атомной энергии «Росатом» Алексей Евгеньевич Лихачев
Alexei Likhachev from Rosatom and Yue Jianfeng from China's Atomic Corporation have signed the agreement on Block 3 and floor of a power plant in China.
Ответственный секретарь комиссии при президенте Российской Федерации по вопросам стратегии развития
The Strategy, Energy and Environment Protection Commission, led by Mr. Sechin, and a representative from China, have signed an agreement on the Russian-Chinese Business Forum. Great Wall Motor and the Tula region in Russia have signed an agreement to build the second stretch of the Great Wall car manufacturing plant in the Tula region. Moscow Mayor Sergei Sobyanin and head of China's Forestry Agency have signed a memorandum of agreement on the protection of forests and pandas. The Minister of Trade and Industry, head of Kazan, have signed an agreement for investment projects in the city of Naberezhnye Chelny in Tatarstan. Russia's aircraft agency and his counterpart have signed an agreement on the procedures between the two governments to improve safety in aviation. The Ministry of Economic Cooperation, Maxim Oreshkin, the Ministry of Agriculture, the Ministry of Commerce from China, and the Ministry of Agriculture by China have signed an agreement to expand cooperation between Russia and China in soya beans. The Ministry of Economic Cooperation, Maxim Oreshkin, and Ministry of Commerce of China signed a memorandum of understanding to stimulate mutual trade. Russia's Veterinary Phytosanitary Service and member of the State Service, China's Foreign Minister, have signed a protocol on requirements to plants that are exported from Russia to China. The Ministry of Agriculture and member of the State Council, China's Foreign Minister, have signed an agreement to change requirements to wheat exports from Russia to China. The Ministry of Economic Cooperation, Maxim Oreshkin, and member of the State Council, China's Foreign Minister, signed a memorandum on the establishment of a joint innovative and research foundation. Finance Minister Anton Silovanov and member of the State Council, China's Foreign Minister, has signed an agreement between the two governments on settlements and payments. The President of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin, and the President of China, Xi Jinping, are signing a joint declaration by China and Russia on developing the ties of a full partnership and cooperation, as well as the joint statement by Russia and China on strengthening global and strategic stability in modern era. Ladies and gentlemen, the ceremony is over. The President would like to make a statement. Distinguished Chinese leader, my honorable friend, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sincerely happy to welcome to Russia the President Xi, the leader of China. The state visit is taking place in a year which marks the 70-year anniversary since the establishment of diplomatic ties between the two nations. I'm happy to say that Russian-Chinese ties have reached an unprecedented level. This is comprehensive partnership and strategic cooperation. We are in close contact with President Xi. We exchange contacts on a regular basis. We communicate on the sidelines of international fora. We focus particularly on Russian-Sino cooperation in politics, economy, human-to-human contacts, and other areas. As part of the talks, we have had very constructive, substantive discussions of the bilateral agenda. We also looked at the international agenda. and we focused on Russian-Chinese cooperation in those areas that are of mutual, deep interest. During the talks, as we exchanged opinions at the table, as I said, we have mechanisms of cooperation, and we have substantive discussions on each of the items of the agenda. And as you could see, we have signed a large number of documents. We have worked to promote strategic partnership. We are entering a new era. We have set new objectives and new targets. We focused on the economy. China's trade turnover has grown by a quarter, $180 billion. We have success in investment too. We have about 30 investment projects worth $22 billion, and the vast majority of these funds have been invested into Russia's Far East. Mutual settlements are the next area we would like to work in. We have just signed an agreement on promoting settlements in renminbi and Russian rubles and providing sustainability in transactions amid global instability on the markets. Energy cooperation is moving ahead. 67 million tons of raw materials have been sent to China last year. The so-called Eastern route will be implemented to supply natural gas. There are also possibilities to supply natural gas via the Western route and via Russia's Far East. The excess of LNG could also be supplied to China. The third stretch of Yamal LNG was launched, and 30%, 29.9%, belong to China. We welcome cooperation. Another major project, Arctic LNG 2. During our last year's visit, we had a breakthrough agreement on atomic cooperation. The third and fourth block of the nuclear plant in China will be built, and a demonstration reactor on fast neutrons will be built. Do we have translation? Is it okay? Good. We focus on industrial cooperation. China's leading car manufacturer, Great Wall, is opening its second stretch and the plant in the Tula region. It will be able to produce up to 80,000 cars, and the level of localization will be 70%. Today, we will look at the new cars. We have new projects in helicopter making, in aircraft making, spacecraft, pharmaceuticals, and other high-tech industries. Russia's mutual Chinese-Russian year of research will be taking place in 2020-2021. We are talking about a new agro-industrial complex in the Primoria region. Russia and China will further develop transit routes. We need to tap into the Baikal-Amur and Trans-Siberian routes and the Northern Sea route. We're expanding border infrastructure. We are completing the construction of a new passage and a new bridge over the Amur River. We welcome cooperation between China's provinces and Russia's regions. We had a successful year of inter-regional cooperation. We have a dedicated council between the Yanzi province and the Volga district. There will be two new formats of cooperation between the Central Federal District and the north of China, and between our Northwestern Federal District and the Primorye provinces of China. Our humanitarian cooperation is developing very actively. As part of the three-year program, we are hosting cinema festivals, concerts, youth and sports exchanges are underway. Tourism is on the rise. 2.2 million Russians visited China, and 1.7 million Chinese tourists came to Russia last year. I was just telling my counterpart is that as I was moving from one building of the Moscow Kremlin to another one, you see so many tourists from China, so you could have waved a hand. I would like to thank my counterpart and all of their delegation for the handover of two large pandas. We know this is an unprecedented case. This is a token of confidence and respect and trust. When we talk about pandas, we all smile. We deeply respect your gift. We really appreciate it. These animals are the symbol of China, and later on, together with my counterpart, we are planning to go to the zoo and have a look at these wonderful animals. We have discussed pressing international regional issues. We believe that on most of them, Russia and China's positions are close or identical. We have signed the joint declaration on strengthening stability in the modern era. We both state that the arms controls, disarmament and non-proliferation agreements need to be protected against any attempt to destroy them. We share the same opinions on the Korean Peninsula. We are implementing the joint venture, the joint roadmap. We believe there is no alternative to a peace solution, and there cannot be any alternative. We'll continue our concerted efforts to ease tension, to de-escalate and to strengthen security and stability in Asia. We are working together to resolve the Syrian crisis. We promote the efforts to stabilize the situation in Venezuela. The Iranian nuclear deal needs to be upheld, as we both believe. During the talks, we agreed to ramp up our efforts as part of the UN, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, BRICS, the G20, APEC, and as part of other leading multilateral fora. We'll continue our efforts to align integration efforts as part of the Eurasian Economic Union with the Silk Road Initiative, so that we could have the greater Eurasian partnership in the longer term. I would like to use this opportunity to thank my counterpart and all Chinese delegates for productive joint negotiations. We are convinced that the agreements and arrangements reached as part of the talks will further contribute to strengthening our friendship will lead to the prosperity of our nations. We will have a gala reception later on to mark the 70-year anniversary since the establishment of the ties between our nations. The Chinese leader, as an honorary guest, will take part at the St. Petersburg Economic Forum, who led a delegation of about 1,000 representatives of government and the business community. There will be the second Russian-China's Energy Business Forum. We will meet with the delegates. There is also the head of the St. Petersburg University, and he will be awarded with an honorary doctorate degree from St. Petersburg University. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Mr. Putin, friends, meet the media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Yesterday, with my friend Vladimir Putin, I'm happy to meet you. This is my first official visit to Russia during my new term as the head of China. Also, it's my 8th visit to Russia since 2013. We have close contacts with Mr. Putin and a deep friendship. Over the past 6 years, we've met almost 30 times. To me, Russia is a country that I visit the most, and President Putin is a close friend of mine and a good colleague. This shows the high level of bilateral cooperation and close strategic cooperation between Russia and China. Just moments ago, we've had very productive talks with President Putin in a very friendly atmosphere. We've discussed bilateral relations as well as the regional and international agendas that are of interest to both our countries, and we've reached an agreement of many of the items we've discussed. We've published 2 joint statements, and we have exchanged the signed documents. Our companies have also exchanged agreements and signed documents. I would like to say that I agree completely with what President Putin has just said. We have reviewed the results of our diplomatic cooperation and other kinds of cooperation over the past 70 years, and I believe that right now relations between Russia and China are at an unprecedented level, and we believe that we're going to use this historical experience to move forward in our relations. This will help us on our way to a comprehensive strategic cooperation for the new era, and this will raise the level of our relations to a new level. Our cooperation is based on mutual trust and mutual aid in terms of innovation, and in the name of cooperation we will move forward in boosting our cooperation for the good of our 2 peoples. I'd like to thank everyone who is participating in these efforts. Trade has has risen up to $100 billion, and this is a new record. We have been successfully implementing cooperation projects in industry, aviation and other areas. Also, we have close cooperation in finance, agriculture. We have cooperation between the regions in terms of electronic commerce. And in 2020 and 2021, we've agreed to have years of technology and cooperation between China and Russia. We will have will boost exchanges of specialists and students, and this will help raise even further the technological capacity of both our countries. We've also agreed to continue to cooperate in the area of the Belt and Road Initiative, and we are going to move forward with this as well as with the Eurasian Economic Union efforts. We will promote regional integration and cooperate in terms of regional cooperation. We will have exchanges, further exchanges in all of the areas of our cooperation. The traditional friendship between our two people shines with new light every year. We have, as Mr. Putin has said, we have given 2 pandas to the Moscow Zoo, and later, together with Mr. Putin, we will go to the Moscow Zoo to the unveiling of these 2 animals there. The world is changing at an unprecedented level. There is more protectionism, more unilateralism in the world right now. The politics of strength and hegemony is on the rise, and we have a long way ahead of us. Russia and China, as permanent members of the UN Security Council, will have to perform our duty to defend the global system, the UN-based system, the international law-based system. We believe that we need to protect the multilateral trade system and add positive energy to the very complicated global situation, global developments, all for the sake of the betterment of mankind. Together with Mr. Putin, we will visit the events to commemorate the 70-year anniversary since the start of diplomatic relations between Russia and China, and also I will visit St. Petersburg to participate in the 23rd St. Petersburg International Economic Forum. We will continue to our cooperation and in this new era, and so thank you for your attention.